Hi there, welcome to Dave in the Shed. I'm Dave and this is my little corner of the world, also known as the Shed Mahal. Now if you're into DIY, 3D printing and model trains, you've come to the right place. Now fair warning, I do things a little bit differently. I have cerebral palsy, which means sometimes things get a little bit creative around here, but hey, it just makes it more fun. So if you like making, fixing, and maybe even breaking things along the way, stick around. Hit that subscribe button and let's build something awesome together. Well, welcome to the shed, ladies and gents. Welcome to this week's video from Dave in the Shed. Now, it's a bit noisy this morning. I've got the gas turbine warming the place up. It's running full whack. I've also got some of the sound locos here on the layout. Thought, yeah, might do a bit of a run and see what happened. D27, which is a Bachmann commercial unit. This one's got all the bells and whistles, literally, because it's got a sound card in it and bits and pieces. Not a bad loco. We'll give it a bit of a run. Oh, what stuff? It's stalled. Now, this is a bit of a setup, I confess. What I'm showing you is a bit of an issue, and it seems to be consensus with a lot of people that sound-fitted DCC logos. So I run a DCC digital command control system. That's what DCC stands for. And you can do all some fancy stuff, like lots of different locos running on the same track, and we have these locos with sound cards or sound chips in them. But locos like this that are fitted with DCC sound are very susceptible to stalling on bits and pieces. This loco is right on a frog or a gap in the point, and being sound fitted, they stall. So we're going to try and have a look at improving that. So what we need to do is we need to put in a temporary power supply so it keeps the loco running when it comes to spots where the track's a bit bad or dirty or it's going to stall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up this loco and we're going to take it over to the workbench. And the solution is, of course, we're going to put some batteries in it. So what we're going to do, being we need about 15 volts to run the thing, we're going to install 10 AA batteries. So each battery AA is 1.5 volts. So we're going to need 10. So we're going to need about, a handful, 10 AA batteries. We're going to put them in this loco and that'll fix the problem. Yeah, don't be stupid, Dave. There's no way in the world you're going to fit 10 AA batteries in that loco. So we have a solution, and the solution is over here in this boxer tray. This tray of parts has got all these electrical components and an article out of a magazine by this bloke called Larry. So what we're going to build is what is called a Keep Alive. So those people who play around with DCC already know about Keep Alive. Now, my loco didn't come with a Keep Alive. A lot of locos these days, it's an optional extra on the DCC decoders. You can install Keep Alive from the start, or optional that and that bits and pieces. But this is an older loco. So we're going to actually have a go at building our own DCC Keep Alives this week and install them in some locos. Now, I'm going to cheat. I'm not designing the circuit myself. I'm going to build the ones that Larry here recommends. Now, there is an excellent video that I shall remember to try and tag in this, where Larry shows you exactly how to do this. So I'm really not going to do a stage by stage, well, step by step by step. I will show you some progress going along. But yeah, Larry just has an excellent video. Now, this is some things where you should have a crack at. Larry's video is brilliant. For any of those people who don't have any electronic skill, he talks you through it. He shows you exactly right. So if you just want to do it and have a crack at one, you can have a go. And saves money. I've been looking online. Commercial keeper lives can be anywhere from $30 to $70, depending on which one. So we're going to have a go because we're saving money. Now, the parts are rather simple. It is really just well, it's one diode, one rectifier diode. Sorry, it's two diodes, two different types of diodes. A Zener diode, a rectifier diode, a resistor, and some supercapacitors, which work like little mini batteries, and that's why the system works, because these are tiny, tiny little batteries. If you watch Larry's video on this, he'll explain all the components, how they work and what they do. I don't have to go into that. I've just got to turn this into something meaningful, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll get about that, and I'll talk to you later. But that's the plan. We've got a tray of electrical components. We've got some instructions. I've watched a video on how to do this, and I've also got my mighty, I'm going to say that. Over on the wall, I've got the mighty Ryobi 18-volt soldering iron on the wall of Ryobi. Not sponsored by Ryobi, just a Ryobi fanboy to help me along the way. So that's what we're up to today. So I'm going to get into that, and we'll see what happens over the course of the video. I did say I wasn't going to do a step-by-step construction guide, but there you go. Stage one done. I've supercapacitors, 5 of them. These are 3 volt one. I've just bought off Larry's list, but they're 3 volt, 1 farad supercapacitors, not normal capacitors. They do have to be a supercapacitor, and I've just soldered them together, quick and easy. Now I've used, Larry says to use double-sided tape. I don't have any double-sided tape handy, so I've just masking tape in a loop, stuck on my piece of timber, followed Larry's instructions. So that's my first part done. Onwards and upwards. Well, there you go, folks. In theory, we have built ourselves a keep alive. Or whatever people, battery keeper, whatever you want to, keep alive is what a lot of people call them. Following the instructions like Larry Puckett. I will share the resources from Larry, hopefully in the description, but there you go. Now the next thing is we need to smoke test it, give it a bit of a test run. Now to make myself easier, because in Larry's instructional video he says to work from negative to positive, so I have worked from the negative to the positive side. But then, as a hint, what I've done is I've turned the instructions upside down. So I'm working from negative to positive. Just that's how my brain works. So I just turn that upside down. So I've worked in that flow. So that makes sense. So I'm going to put some power on this, and we'll see if we smoke test it. So what I'm going to do is set up my power supply, do all that, and be back with you. So off camera, I've set up my power supply. I've got it right on 15 volts. I'm about to turn it on. Now, what should happen is this thing should power up. The light should come on. The little LED I've got here should take a charge. No magic smoke should be released. The thing is, when I turn the power supply off and the power supply is dead, the light should stay on for a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how to test this, but anyway, this is a smoke test. So power supply going on. Oh, no smoke. LED is alight, and what I'm going to do now, you see that's delivering 15 volts. Oh, now interesting, it's taking current. See how the ammeter there, the big A, it's dropping, which is what we expect to see because it would be charging up. So notice how that amps, it's dropping, and you'll see at the bottom is the wattage is dropping, which means those capacitors are now storing a charge. That's it. Should have explained that. That's exactly what we expect to see. and then it would get to a spot and it should settle. But anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to turn the power supply off, and the LED should stay on for a bit. So power supply is off, LED is still lit, because that LED is now running off those capacitors. Now it would probably last for quite a bit of time, because the LED doesn't draw a lot of current. But the idea of a keep alive is to keep enough voltage in the circuit so the loco can keep going and can get over its spot. But hey, it's working. No magic smoke came out. LED is still running. So what we do is when we put the power supply back on, we should see, for those who are electronically minded, we should see the current drop down again on the machine. 15 volt. That current, don't know if you can see that. As those capacitors store a charge, they need less and less and less current to come up to speed. They should eventually, at some stage, in theory, settle. Well, actually, the current, actually, when they store their charge, should actually almost drop to zero. I think from memory, from learning days. So the current will just draw and draw and draw until those capacitors are full. They don't need anything. So that's not bad. That's 0.6 amp. So you'll see it's counting down less and less. It needs less and less current draw, getting less and less. Okay, so once again, power supply off. LED is still lit because that LED is now running off those capacitors. Now, if it was a bigger load, it would run out quicker because the LED is a very, very little load. And I couldn't be bothered setting up an ammeter and all that. We could do some load testing. But anyway, that's a success. No magic smoke came out. Right, so the next step is heat shrink the thing to seal it up as per Larry's video, and then we've got to look at installing it in a loco. Ooh, okay. So I'll get on with that. I've got some heat sink and that ready, so heat shrink, so we're going to heat shrink it. Like I said, there's my loop of double-sided masking tape I just rolled around, because if you watch Larry's video, he uses a piece of double-sided tape. But anyway, bit of an anticlimax of the smoke didn't come out. Did something right. So there we go. I've heat shrinked the Stay Alive up. Now somebody's it's not pretty, but it works. It works. It'll be electrically safe. My heat shrinking job's not the best. A bit of a disaster. When I was cutting the heat shrink to fit the module, I actually cut my negative cable, so it's a bit shorter than what I really, really wanted. But anyway, now somebody's going to say, Dave, how do we know you're not tricking us? Because we know from previous videos that my bench power supply has some pretty good capacitors in it, filtering capacitors in it. So how do we know you're not just that LED's running off the capacitors in the supply? Which is a good question. And I'll show you this. What I'm going to do is we'll charge this up, and look at this. I'll reach over here, pull the negative line out of the power supply. Power supply is delivering no current. LED still charged up on. Okay? Prove me point. Absolutely no current draw on my meter. It's still the 15 volt, no amps. LED is still on. Okay, we'll plug it back in, and as it draws current, yeah. So that's how the system's meant to work. So I'm doing a demo. So the train's running along, it's running on the track supply, LEDs are on, off, running fine. Oh, we lose our power supply. We're not connected to the track anymore. Oh, look, lights are still on. Of course, the current draw from the motor and all the electronics is a bit more than an LED. But, yeah, next thing we need to do now is we need to put this circuit, minus the LED, inside the tray. But anyway, it's coffee o'clock. This is time for me to have a coffee, and then we'll look at the next stage of the process. Just out of interest, it's 10:20 in the morning. Going to go off and have a coffee. I'm just recording the clock, 10:20 a.m. because when we come back, and that is still disconnected from the power supply, see if the light's still on. See how long it lasts. Interesting test. Anyway, I'm going to go off and make me coffee and come back. Hi everybody, it's Dave here. How you going? I have a confession to make. Yesterday I achieved a major stuff up. Major stuff up. I'm going to confess what it is. While I was filming the video on the Keeper Lives and assembling them, installing them and doing that, somehow after I came back from smoker, I went off to have a cup of coffee, which you've seen. When I came back, I had somehow managed to get the camera, apart from my stuff up of recording in landscape, is a recording in portrait instead of landscape, which I actually do again. I also managed to put the Pocket Free, which I'm still learning how to drive, in slow motion mode. So what I've got to do now is I've got to learn some advanced editing techniques and try and get it back to look normal. So I apologise if the rest of the video, when we're going to try and recover as much as I can, is a bit strange. It's because that's what I did. Now, very thankfully, this is a bit technical, the Pocket Free records the video file and the audio file as safety tracks separate. So I've got a audio track to work to try and get everything back into line sync. But anyway, we'll try, because it was an interesting story, Dave banging his gums on. But anyway, we will see what we can do. But anyway, here's a quick video of Arthur. Survived his heart transplant yesterday, his open heart surgery. And he's running quite well at a slow speed, and due to the Keep Alive, he's stalling a lot less. He's not going to say it's absolutely perfect, but he's doing a lot better. He sounds okay. So that's what I'm up to. So anyway, I'll get out of your hair now, and I'll talk to you soon. We'll just watch Arthur run around here for a little bit. He's an impressive little beast, isn't he? God, Dave, you're a rat bag. Well, I've made me coffee and I'm on the way back to the shed. So I wanted to show you this as a side note in the way. This is one of these DIY projects. Big problem at this time of year with the falling leaves. It's what the Americans call fall. Leaves falling in the fish pond. So I had a bit of a wacky thought of over the weekend. I printed up this device to work as a bit of what I thought might work as a leaf trap, and lo and behold, it's catching a few leaves. So this is on the side of my fish pond. I might need to make the next one a bit deeper, but for a prototype the concept works. It's based on the idea that the filter pump automatically by nature causes a current flow in the pond. It's only a little one, so the water flows round and the leaves get caught in the water flow and they come around here and they get trapped in the trap. And look, for something that was just an idea and a stab in the dark, I'm rather impressed with that. It doesn't work too bad. We do have a bit of a problem because I got the radius right on the outside because I wanted it to butt up right up against the side of the tank, and some of the leaves are getting trapped right there. But look, it's trapping leaves. Make my life a little bit easier. But anyway, that's just a side note of having an idea of having an idea. Sorry, that made no sense. It's just an example of having an idea, sitting down with Tinkercad, producing something and printing it in the 3D printer and having a go. Like I keep telling people, you don't know what you can do till you have a go. So, yeah. Now, it's a pretty simple design. It's just really a 3D basket. I've got some 6mm dowels poking through just to support the thing. Really simple idea, and catching leaves. Excuse me, a little bit proud of that. The less times I've got to stick my hands in that cold water and fish leaves out of the tank, the better I am. But we'll leave it for a couple of days and see how we get on. Might have to make a Mark II, but it's working. Crazy ideas you come up with. Well, there you go. I've got my coffee. Just gone now to check out my fish tank. The design, so there's my coffee. Got my coffee ready to go. In my Cookie Monster mug, of course. LED is still on. Not very bright, but it's on. That's all it has to do. Focus. So I don't know if you can see that. 1031. 1031. So as you can see, as the current slowly dissipates, it will get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And we can charge the thing up again. Plug the supply in. And you'll see that it's drawing current. Quite a lot. Screen dissing. So there you go. Anyway, it's flashing in the screen. It's drawing current until it charges up again. Because those supercapacitors are acting like a little battery bank. LED's nice and quiet and bright again because the supercapacitors are charged up. Drop our supply off and the light will slowly dim, so it's working. So the next part is we're going to try and fit that contraption in the cab of the Loco. Now, the next step's not for the faint-hearted, and I would not suggest anybody who's messed around with it to do it, because I've got to solder this Keep Alive onto the board inside the Loco, and I'll disassemble the Loco and I'll talk about the next bit. So you're better off, if you can, use commercial decoders with commercial Keep Alives, unless it's a situation where, like this old Loco, where there is no Keep Alive on that available. But anyway, because I am going to be messing around with the circuit board on the Loco, if things go wrong, I could be in serious trouble. Anyway, I'll disassemble the Loco. I'm going to be sipping on this coffee. Talk to you soon. Now this is the part where if you don't know what you're doing, don't play with it. Okay? What I'm doing is, as per Larry's videos, is I'm using my multimeter to find, and Larry talks about it in this one of his videos, and I'll probably share the link, of the positive and the negative point on your train. Now I'm doing this with the layout powered up and the train on, and I think I've found on top of the sound card, I don't know if this thing will focus, the bits where the I'm pretty positive I have on the sound card found the points where the Keep Alive is meant to be soldered onto. So that's my next step. So if I get this wrong, I will fry the sound card in the unit, and also good chance I would fry the decoder. So if you don't know what you're doing about this part, don't do it. But using my multimeter, and they are marked voltage positive and earth on the actual sound card. There's two little pads there that look like they're probably the spot to solder to Keep Alive. Next thing is to risk it and do it. So risk the biscuit, is that what they say? So yeah. So anyway, it is on the layout. It is powered up. It is sound running. So yep, my next bit is to take the chance. The hardest job is actually going to be fitting it all in, this Loco. But anyway, the next bit is to take a chance. I'll talk to you from the workbench. Well, I've soldered that in where I think are the test points. I think I've done a good job. You're going to see this live, because either when I power this, push this button, the layout's powered down, and I push this power button, the Loco's either going to fire up and make sound, or we're in big trouble. So here we go. Oh, we have sound. It's good. We're not getting any smoke. It does move. Okay. So the next thing is, I'm going to try and reassemble this all in that tiny little space. Ooh, leap of faith or what faith. Anyway, getting it back together is going to take me a bit. But anyway, I don't want to run it too far with the body sitting on the side, but, oh, loco works, sound card works, didn't let the magic smoke out. Now, the test is, if I lift this off the track, does the sound card still work? Hey, yeah, success. Loco's off the track completely. That Keep Alive's still running the sound chip. Oh, magic! Now we've got to assemble it all inside that loco body. That's going to be a little bit of a magic trap. But as you see, oh, there you go, sound died. So, that was really good. That's magic. It all works, Dave. Of course, if it didn't all work, you wouldn't be seeing the video. I'd be saying I did this. That was a big disaster. Okay, upwards and onwards. Now I've got to sort of like assemble all this in the loco. That's going to be the hardest part. So I've got that all fitted up in the loco, and it's all running as expected. Look at this. This little loco is absolutely running fine. We just have to ignore the failure in this success, which is that Keep Alive is too big to fit in the loco, Dave. You're going to have to redesign one that'll fit in the cab, Dave, because why that is a fantastic piece of electrical engineering. And I've tried all sorts of bits and pieces. There's no way that I can actually get that body on with that Keep Alive in there. So what I'm going to have to do is design a smaller package, which is not hard to do. We know the theory now to do it. Is next step is to build a smaller Keep Alive that actually fits in the cab of the loco. But not all is lost. It's a great first attempt. It's a great doing bits and pieces. I was hoping to get that to I was hoping to get that to sit in there and squeeze all up in the body, but it's not going to work. So now we'll sit down and we're going to redesign it and get a new Keep Alive into this logo. Not all is lost. This one will be a great Keep Alive to go into after, because this is the next one that was planned to be fitted. But anyway, yeah, okay. We've got to design a smaller package, which we can do. So that's the next step in the process. Oh, good one, Dave. Good one. So this is the joys of building Keep Alives yourself, is you can custom build them to fit in the situation. So this is Keep Alive number 2. I've got to heat shrink the package totally. I've just heat shrink the parts I needed to so far, because I have to. I wanted to test it. So it's running. It's up and running. I didn't smoke test it live in case it went bang, but as we can see, it's on. It's powered as before. 14.9, should be 15. Anyway, it's drawing about 0.45 amp. The LED's on. Kill the power supply. Oh, light remains on. Should be discharging. So this is designed so I can poke it in the cab of that locomotive. About to go and have a lunch break. I've also got to go have a bit of a dig because I've dropped the solder, a typical Dave style, and it's rolled away somewhere. So anyway, so that system is now discharging. Power it up, and as you can see, it is drawing current, but the current is decreasing because the capacitors are charging. That's how Keep Alives work. So yeah, anyway, I now can put some heat shrink on this, seal it all up, and I'll probably show you that, and then I'm off to have some lunch, and this hopefully will fit excuse me, in the cab of the loco. But anyway, this is life in the lab with Dave. Or life in the shed with Dave. Anyway, yep. So we're sort of like back to where we were a while ago. Is I've shown you how I've built up this second Keep Alive pack. And I've jammed it in there into the cab of the loco. Look, I know this is not going to be prototypical because you'll look through the window of the cab and you'll see that orange, that reddy orange thing poking in there in the battery pack, and that, look, there's not a lot I can do about it. But it is one of the compromises you've got to make for an operating loco that I'm just going to you'll be able to see it. Because it's nothing more than annoying than having a sound fitted loco that keeps stalling. So there we go, that's where we're up to. So I'm going to solder this in and then hopefully assemble the loco and get it running. And after that we then have a look at putting that one. All is not lost because our other pack will fit in Arthur. Was the intention to make one for Arthur. I just didn't expect that Arthur would be the first. So anyway, I've retrieved the solder from where it went missing, and I've had some lunch, and I've got a coffee on the go over here. So let's assemble this loco and see where we get to. And yeah, it could be an interesting video. Once again, if it fails miserably, you won't get to see any of it. Good one, Dave. Okay, let's crack on. So I thought I'd do a quick test before I assemble it all again, but I'll just show you what I'm doing. Is that's powered up. You'll see the lights are on. And I'm going to hit the emergency stop on the loco, on the whole layout actually. This kills all the whole layout, so it kills all the power. Sound chip is still running in that loco. And quite a while. It's doing quite well. So those capacitors stored quite a good current. So what we'll do, turn the loco on. What I'm going to do is, I'd like to do it one-handed, but I'm not sure I can. Is do the drive test. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. Get the loco running. And it's derailed. Yeah, okay. Good one, Dave. Well, we're all back together and running. As you can see, unfortunately, extra person in the cab will, you can just see, I've closed the windows in the loco so you can't see too well, but the big red blob there. Which, yeah, not too far. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing more disconcerting when you've got the loco on the track and you do this and you take it off the track and you walk across to the workbench and the loco is still idling in your hand. That's a yeah, that's a bit of a worry. I've got to glue one of the air tanks back on the thing, but I picked the loco up and I walked away with it, and this loco is idling away in my hand for quite a while. We can time it on this video, on this thing, on the soundtrack. But yeah, okay, we've charged up, and yeah, I'm carrying around a loco like it's idling. Oh, that is a bit different. Anyway, I've got to glue this air tank back on and do some bits and pieces, and she's ready to go back in service. Right. Oh, might have to glue its screw back on. That would be a good thing too. Okay, I'll get back to you in a sec, or soon, or later. On to the next project. So I've rushed ahead without you, and I've loaded up that other Keep Alive in Arthur. Yes, he will fit back together with that in there. So he's all running with the one that we built first. Just to show that he's running. They're kicking my butt getting these things in. Had to solder the wires in about 4 times to get him to stick and then hot glue it in. But anyway, Arthur's on, he's running, so if I lift him up off the track, he's still running, he's clear. For some reason the sound chip in this and the thing, when you take him off the track, he throttles up and starts honking his horn, which is hilarious. It's like, what are you trying to do? Escape, old mate? So yeah. So that's 2 locos fitted with Keep Alive. Now, there's one loco I'd love to fit a Keep Alive in, is this little one, number 1. It's got a sound chip in it. But really, that would be a challenge, because at the moment, I don't know if you can see, the cab is absolutely chock-a-block full of electronics just to get a decoder and a sound module in it. This is one of the original ones. It didn't come DCC, so I had to install the DCC chip. I then put a sound decoder in it because it was a challenge at that stage. Whoa, I'd love to fit a Keep Alive to that, but that would be a bit challenging. Or I could build a little tender, but I think we just may leave that one alone. It's quite a novelty that he's got a sound chip in it and he's tiny and he's that, so we just might, like they said, leave a tender moment alone. I could build a tender for him and do all that, but how about no, we'll just leave it as the novelty factor is. Anyway, I've got to put Arthur back together, and then we'll move on with some more stuff. We'll see. Or I could just end the video. No, I've got some other locos I want to have a crack at putting Keep Alives in. Whether you see it or not, we will be interested. But anyway, I'll get out of your hair for now. Talk to you later. Well, welcome to Friday, last day of the week. Time to finish up this weekly update. Wow, what an interesting week I've had. Some of the stuff ups have been interesting. It's been a fun week. Hasn't been boring. Anyway, I'm going to show you 1410. It's, well, I'm going to call it finished. I bit the bullet. I'm going to be ending up having email exchange back and forth, explaining to these people that they've sent the wrong LEDs, and that's just going to go on forever, and I'm going to cut my luck. So I'm just going to show you this. What I decided to do in the end, there's nothing to stop me from soldering up my own limiting resistors and making the LEDs I have on hand in my drawer of parts compatible with the DCC system. So that's what I did in the end. It's a lot of stuffing around and hassle, but really it was only about an hour out of my time. But anyway, 1410, he has his headlights, and I can control them under DCC. We'll just swap the direction on the logo. Oop, come back, show us all your headlights. So headlights are out, headlights come on. Don't know how well it shows up. To make it a bit different, the headlights and marker lights are different colours on the front. Show you again without moving too far. Bring them on. Now I haven't played with the settings on this loco, so it operates under what Americans call Rule 17, which it's a bit annoying, and I can probably find a way to reprogram the locos and change it. But the lights only dim. When the loco reverses and the light direction changes, they only dim. They don't go out, which to me is a bit strange, because here they go out. But I'll show you the back of the loco. So he's got his white light to the rear and the marker lights. So when he goes forward, those marker lights come on, because that's now the rear of the frame. When he comes back this way, they dim. They don't actually go right out, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, he's done. Ready for service. Not a bad looking loco. It's a little bit too big for my railway, but it was all one of those fun projects, something that I've always wanted to do. I was able to source a suitable mech at the right time. It's one of those ones where I might do a second, because really should be a pair of them running back to back in theory, because they're a single cab loco. A bit useless having a single single cab loco on what is really a point-to-point layout, because I've got no way of turning it round technically. I might have to build a turntable at the top of the hill or something. But anyway, that's it. So all the locos that I fitted so far with the Keep Alives are working fine. They're doing great, having a lot of fun. There's Arthur ready on the Passenger Express, doing all that. I have got one problem that we'll have to address, and I'll show you what that is, and talk quickly about what my plan is, and if you've got any input into it, let me know. Around here on this yard here, one of the points has failed, just because they're old and aged. This point here, I don't know if you can see it, when it closes, it's actually not closing properly. Let's go zoom in there. So the point blade is open a bit. So that point needs to come out. Now this was, the layout grew in sections. This was one of the original parts of the layout, because we just had this as a wall display so I could run locos, and I didn't actually, the big part of the layout was put in later during COVID, when we pulled the exhibition layout and made it into a permanent shed layout. So this area was actually the original part of the shed layout. It was just a place to run locos. And it was sort of like, yeah, a shunting layout. There's the still's still there. And so this end here, the end of the layout, because this was the end of the layout, and we needed the space here to run around locos. But what I'm thinking of, since I've got to replace this point, and it's going to require, I'm going to actually rebuild the track layout completely. And I'm thinking at this stage is to put I'll just slide to put a point in here and do this, as you can see, and then the lines would come out and rejoin. It'll mean a bit of a rework, and I might even pull out that crossing. I'm not sure. There's a crossover here. Might even remove that and just make it into a, I've got to do some cogitating and thinking on that. Light's gone out now, but anyway, rebuild the layout completely. So that's job thinking and planning, just looking at that, and yeah, because then there's no need for that extra space there as a run round space, because we've got the space here, and then we've also got the line that runs up the hill. So that concludes this week. Hope you keep safe, keep well, keep warm. Don't forget, DIY, get out in your shed, have a go at something. Have a go. You don't know what you can do and what you can't do until you try. Now, hopefully next week, any day now, hopefully the parts for the chainsaw will turn up so we can get that done. But we'll see what happens next week. Till then, take care. Look after yourselves. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Please comment. If you've got comments or questions, please feel free to comment. Leave any questions. Don't forget, share it with your friends if you think they'd like that. But yeah, and if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please subscribe. Please get involved. Till then, talk to you later. And don't forget, if there's any questions you'd like to ask about anything that you've seen in the video, please let me know. Happy to have a chat. So until we meet again, farewell from Dave in the shed for this week.